Hello, my name is Lawrence Akintoku. I'm here to present my lesson plan on ITEC 7430 at Kennesaw State University. The title of my lesson plan is Percent Composition, Empirical Formulas, and Molecular Formulas. And I would like to address the Georgia Standard of Excellence Chemistry SC3C. And the ISTS standard is ISTS standard 2. And I'm using this applets to make a concept mapping to show the relationship between the percent composition, empirical formula, molecular formula, atomic mass on periodic table, molar mass, which is total mass of the elements in the compound. And I'm going to use periodic table, which is this. We're going to use the periodic table to look for the atomic mass of the elements, which we are going to use to calculate the mass of the substance, the molar mass, and the atomic mass. And I decided to use Edpuzzle to make the video, which is going to be sent home to students to watch as a flipped classroom, as well as using the Spark video, which also has information on percent composition to buttress the teaching. So percent composition is the percentage by mass of elements in a compound, and the formula is parts over whole over the times 100. We have the mass of element in 1 mole divided by mass of 1 mole multiplied by 100 to get your percent composition of each one. So let's take a typical example of potassium permanganate, KMnO4. We have potassium as 39.1 with just 1 mole of potassium. That will give us 39.1. Then we have manganese, 54.1 is just 1, so multiply by 1 to get 54.9. Then we have oxygen. We have 4 oxygen. This number is the subscript to oxygen, which affects only oxygen. So you have 4 times 16 to get 64. The total mass will be 158. So the percent composition of each of the component of the potassium permanganate is potassium is 39.1 divided by the total, this is 158 times 100 give us 54.7. The same thing with manganese, give us 54.9 over 158 times 100 to give 34.8. Oxygen is 64 over 158 times 100 to give us 40.5. Now I give the student this work guided example. They work in pairs on the table. We have a whiteboard where they can show their solutions, and the teacher goes around to check for the error and then correct any mistakes, especially when it comes to the subscripts. Some students can easily get confused with the subscripts, and then teacher give them another work guided examples for them to work and then show them the answers at the end of it. And this is the independent practice for them to do in the class. And then this is a mini lab which the student will have to design. It's an inquiry lab to find the percentage of sugar in the bubble gum. We have many brands of bubble gum given to the students. They pair up and they have one type of bubble gum each. And then they have to design the experiment on how to get the bubble gum sugar and then find the percentage. Right, the formula, we have 2 types of formula, empirical and molecular formula. The chart talks about each one of them and then give examples. CH4, H10 molecular, C2H5 is empirical because that is the lowest time it can get. So, and give more examples, and that goes further to more examples on that. And then you give a concrete example of a sample of cobalt react with that chlorine, and then teacher takes them through the PowerPoint to know how to calculate the empirical formula, getting the subscripts, 1 for cobalt, 2 for chlorine, and then the empirical formula will be COCl2. So at the end of it, we have the formula for molecular formula, which is empirical formula times N. Your N is now the molecular mass over empirical mass, and that will give you a whole number of N, and that N will be distributed. So example is also given here. When you find looking at this is the empirical formula, and this is the molar mass. So you already have the molar mass, you just find the empirical mass. So empirical mass of this P2O5 is this, which is calculated from here. So at the end of it, you have your N is equals to 2. So you now distribute that 2 here on 2 and 5 to give you P4O10. So at the end of it, you have one more examples, and the student will go through the example and teacher give the content assessment. So this is the content assessment for the lesson, and at the end of it, I use Edpuzzle, Popplet, Flip Classroom, Spark Video, and PowerPoint as my digital tools, and the technology tools are periodic table and calculators. And challenges I face will be students did not watch the video before coming to class, and an inadequate time frame for the Flip Classroom. So modifications or improvements on this lesson will be the Flip Classroom video will be assigned over the weekend to allow more time for watching over and over, and then teacher will administer a short quiz at the beginning of the class to check for students who have watched it. That is the length of the lesson. Thank you.